What's going on, guys? Coming at you today with another video for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Recently, the game's creative director sat down for an exclusive interview with the Washington Post, and this video will break down what was said by the man himself. Stay tuned. Okay, so as you may or may not know, there was a post on Twitter that has been since taken down, but has probably been taken out of context, and it's caused a lot of confusion regarding the game's size, its map, etc. Here's what Ashraf had to say about it.
So the map size, one thing is I do get asked quite often to compare, and I've said it before, I don't find the comparison directly meaningful. Instead, what I would say is, we're in Norway and in England. Norway is breathtaking. It's a big world. There's a lot to discover and do in Norway. And then eventually the journey takes you to England. And in England, we have four kingdoms of England. During this time period, England was broken up into many little kingdoms. And so we have four kingdoms: Northumbria, East Anglia, Mercia, and Wessex. Within those, there's three major cities: London, Winchester, York, as it's known now, with a ton of towns and villages and hamlets and locations and surprises, all the way from Hadrian's Wall to Stonehenge. The world is impressive. People don't need to, let's say, worry about the size. It's England, it's big. There's four kingdoms in it, and a ton of content, and Norway, and some other surprises that we're not yet talking about. I want people to discover all the nuances and the discoveries that they can make. We've filled this world with a lot of mystery and surprise and unexpected elements, but this is a meticulously handcrafted large world that we've built. So again, for the people who want to spend hours and hours exploring every nook and cranny and finding every secret and hidden truth in this world, they have those options. If you want to focus on the narrative and drive through the narrative, you can play it that way too, and that's cool.
So the map will consist of Norway, England, and its four huge kingdoms, plus hidden areas as well, with hours and hours and hours of things to do. That sounds good to me. I've also seen people comparing Valhalla to Odyssey, but what people don't seem to realize is that Odyssey was broken up into several islands with a lot of ocean in between. Look at Syndicate or Unity, for example. They both take place in a single city for the most part and are both good-sized games. Now take Origins. It was one single landmass that had so much to do. Odyssey was much bigger than Origins, but it felt smaller to some people because it was broken up instead of a single landmass. Odyssey had vastly more things to do and could be quite overwhelming to some players. Regarding Valhalla, they've promised us that there are tons of secrets, hidden areas, etc. to explore. So if that's your thing, you won't be disappointed at all. However, if all you want to do is grind through the story, that's an option as well, because in this game you're not forced to grind in order to begin the next mission or continue the story. Unlike Origins and Odyssey, Valhalla doesn't have a level requirement. The enemies scale with you, meaning that you can go anywhere you want at any time without fear of running into that big bad beastie that'll tear you to pieces in under a second, or, as I said before, grinding up to get to that threshold to continue the next mission. Let's talk about how parkour will work in Valhalla.
When it comes to parkour, we needed to craft locations that make those elements shine. So there's a lot of effort that's gone into the level design, where we have developed explicit purpose into whatever location or area that we're trying to build. To say, yes, you can run on the ground and you can do whatever you need to, maybe from the ground, but you know what? If you decide to go up, if you decide to be a predator from the top, you're gonna see the value, see the advantage that you have. Have a crazy amount of ingredients in this world, things that make combat shine, things that make stealth shine, things that make navigation shine. Okay, we build these open worlds. You can approach these worlds from many angles, many directions, and we infuse that across every location we have in this world. I've mentioned a few times, this is a meticulous building that we've gone through to make sure that we can achieve it to the scale of the world that we have. So a lot of effort has gone into parkour. We have some really incredible locations that shine when you decide to be, let's say, the predator at the top, or even some navigation puzzles.
There will be multiple skill trees, and we all know that there will be at least one that focuses on stealth and the hidden blade. So just because you're a Viking doesn't mean that you have to Hulk smash through everything like some mindless brute, though that is probably an option if that is your thing.
So about stealth, so one let's say misconception that people have is that Vikings are only brutal warriors, and for sure they are quite a warrior
conception too. So yeah.
That's what the mainstream public has. That's the image people have in their mind when they hear the word Vikings. But they were very pragmatic. If they could stealth their way to an objective and do whatever it is they needed to do quietly, they would. The stealth approach this is an Assassin's Creed game, so the stealth approach is critical. And I mentioned that we had done this big reflection, off on the franchise as a whole. And part of that reflection very early on was to say the social stealth element was one of the uniqueness, one of the very strong, unique pillars of Assassin's Creed. And so we were excited to bring it back and to bring its own unique new spin. And how do we make it even better? And how do we, give the people who love that style of play something meaningful, powerful, with different abilities and tools and capacities to play in that style. You have a hood and a cloak that you can manually break up and down as you wish, and that has an effect. On detection and that kind of stuff and more. And there's other tools and capacities. There's tools with your Raven, Sunan, that help you in stealth situations. Ground stealth, let's say, stalking zones, hiding, all the way to social stealth, using other people, using the environment and the social setting to sort of hide in the crowd. So a lot of effort has gone into stealth. But of course, again, this is an Assassin's Creed game. So very early in the experience of the game, Eivor will meet with assassins, or the hidden ones as they're called. And these assassins will also actively teach Eivor certain things. So some of the stealth elements will come as a teaching from Eivor's assassin friends.
One thing that I would like to mention about stealth is that they're officially bringing back the blend feature while your hood is up, which will allow you to infiltrate areas, scout, stealth kill, etc., like in past installments of the series. Your Raven, whose name we now know is Sunan, can also help you with stealth and has been given a lot of new abilities according to Ubisoft. However, what those are exactly has not yet been revealed. As the game progresses, you meet the hidden ones, those who will become the Assassin Brotherhood. They will help you and train you in the ways of the assassin, as well as giving you your own hidden blade. Valhalla will also have more unique gear sets this time around as well.
So in terms of gear, let's say every piece of gear is unique. Every piece of gear, you can upgrade it. You can change the look of the gear. So it's more of a collection of gear. If you want to focus on one set, if you have your favorite set of weapons, your favorite gear, and you want to just have that and focus on it, no problem. You can go through the whole game with that. If you want to collect all the really wonderful, unique weapons and gear we have in the game, you can do that. But each piece is unique.
So it sounds like the gear will be more specific, like maybe a particular enemy has this axe, and you have to take out that guy in order to get it, for example, instead of having 20 of the same piece in varying colors like past installments. The gear can be upgraded and modified as well using runes, which I assume are similar to the glyphs in Odyssey. The best part being that it sounds like you can use the same gear sets and weapons throughout the entire game without having to worry about outgrowing it, if that's what you wish to do, of course. Speaking of weapons, you can dual wield just about everything, as you will learn here.
So combat, you can't really claim to make the Viking experience without nailing combat. The Viking Age Vikings were brutal warriors. So a lot of effort has gone into that sense of impact, the feeling of feeling every swing of the weapon, customizing the way you play. One of the areas we wanted to push is the idea of dual wielding, that you can combine any two combination of weapons as you want. Some weapons have synergies with one another, so there's a lot of nitty gritty crafting if you wish to go down that road. A lot of effort has gone into the dual wielding. If you want to dual wield two shields, you can do that. Why not? We have two-handed weapons. You can gain skills that allow you to wield in a single hand two-handed weapons, and then combine two of them if you want. So again, a lot of effort has gone into the dual wielding, and to allow that level of customization and gameplay synergy.
So you can invest in certain skills that allow you to dual wield even two-handed weapons and shields, which could be interesting. Most games that allow this feature tend to have some kind of drawback, like maybe less damage from the offhand, or a slightly slower striking speed, etc. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with this game going forward. Perhaps you can only gain so many skill points, and therefore have to do a more specific or refined build. This is an RPG after all. I'd assume that you can respec your stats so that you can experiment with multiple builds till you find the one that works for you. Perhaps even hybrid builds or specialty builds. We'll see. Moving on to customization.
There's quite a few options for customization. So yes, the gear pieces are broken up into 5 separate pieces, where let's say the hood is one piece among many. So there's various pieces. Again, as I've mentioned, every piece of gear is unique. When you upgrade gear, at certain moments, that gear also changes its visual. We allow you, if you really want to customize the look, we allow you to swap the look of a piece of gear, so you can retain its capacities, but you can change the look.
Yes.
Smog.
Yes.
So we have that. In terms of the Eivor, so yes, there's hairstyles, beard styles, quite various amount. You can change the color. There's tattoos. There's war paint. So there's quite a bit of, let's say, character customization that can be done.
You can customize the look of your gear and even its color, which is pretty awesome. The personal customization options sound amazing as well. Being able to change your hair, beard, add tattoos, war paint, etc. makes for a truly unique gaming experience. Gear can even change the way it looks as you upgrade it, as you can see on the screen now. Gear will essentially evolve with you. If you like the look of one breastplate, let's say, but you don't like and or need its particular stats, you can morph that look onto another piece to personalize the stats and build what you want to have. Kind of like the appearance changing they added into Odyssey, but it sounds like they're going a step or two further with this game. I've also heard that you can customize Eivor's face, but to what extent we do not know. Obviously male or female, but I'm curious just how far beyond that you can go. Besides hair and beards, as mentioned before. I briefly mentioned the flighting or rap battles in a previous video. Well, here's what Ashraf had to say about that.
So what you're referring to is called flighting. So flighting was something that we found in our research. It was something that was done during this time period in the 9th century on the Norse side, so the Viking side, but also in the Saxon side in England. For fun, for enjoyment, people, let's say 2 people, would start rhythmically insulting one another in front of the crowd to people's cheers. There's even a saga, a story about Odin and Thor doing a flighting together, where Odin, of course, Odin the Wise, obliterating Thor. So it was really based on that research that we found this kind of really intriguing little activity. And just to kind of give a little hint as to onto Eivor's personality, Eivor is someone who appreciates a good joke, but also appreciates a sense of poetry, and so it fit really well. Modern day rap battles. is something that you can find in the game.
Given the number of mini-games and side activities you can partake in this game, it's going to be interesting to see just how fleshed out and engaging they are. Hopefully, a lot. The fighting could be amazing and potentially lead to some very interesting compilation videos, comedy videos, etc. On to mounts now. It's been confirmed that there will be horses as well as the wolf mount we have already seen from getting the Berserker pack. There are others, however, which Ubisoft is keeping tight-lipped about.
There are other mounts, but again, we're not getting into that just yet. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a single-player game. We do have an online component. There is a lot of value and a lot of features that come with being online. But to be clear, it is a single-player game, and we thrive on that single-player experience that we're trying to make.
The online feature that he's referring to is the ability to create your own Vikings. Basically, you make your own soldiers, lieutenants, grunts, etc., and those will then live within your world, grow, go on raids with you, etc. Where you can share these custom created characters online for other people to download and use. Note that whenever your characters are used by another player, you are given bonuses such as loot, money, experience, etc. We have also know for sure that Valhalla's modern day story will continue where Odyssey left off, and we will continue with Layla once again.
So in terms of modern day, we do continue the journey with Layla. So after the events of Odyssey, we pick up a bit of time has passed since then. Of course, I can't go into any of those details. There are some really cool surprises, I think, for fans and non-fans. Certain gameplay that is an aspect, if I can call it that, for the present day, that will, I think, surprise and hopefully thrill.
And there you have it, straight from the source. This game seems to be shaping up to be a truly amazing gaming experience. Are you guys excited to play this game? Or just wish to discuss it? Feel free to comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in my next video. Later.